Hey, Shalom Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone and rule and teach well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in his gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a quick lesson through the spirit. I want to say that I saw this in the group chat yesterday, or it may have been on TikTok. I'm not sure. But anyway, I find these little spoof videos of The Simpsons pretty funny because everybody seems to think that The Simpsons are some great erratic profiteers and that they predict the future and all this other blase. But what you have to understand about The Simpsons is the fact that they're juiced in. Okay, they're what they call predictive programming. That Family Guy, that show Futurama, South Park, all the producers of these shows within the Hollywood realms are basically, they're Freemasons, man. So they have a key to the script, all right? And what they do is what they call predictive programming. Okay, it's not the fact that they predict the world is coming to an end or this and that, but they have in a script, and they got what's called the Communist Manifesto. Okay, when the elites go through the particular steps to create the new world order and to spread chaos and diseases and pestilence and war and turmoil, man, all right? And the next thing up is this digital infrastructure, which will harbor in the mark of the beast, man. But this video here is quite interesting in my opinion because, I mean, you know, everybody thinks, like I said, The Simpsons are just these great prophetic seers, and they're really not. Okay, ever since the mid-90s, The Simpsons have been putting spoof parodies from celebrities to, you know, particular events to foreshadowing so-called false flags and all this other shit. And it's nothing more, nothing less. But nonetheless, they put it right in front of your face to let you know what to expect. Because in this video, and by the way, fair use, which I probably should have played it at the beginning. Because honestly speaking, if they try to flag the video, then I will have to do it over. But anyway, fair use, which I don't think they will flag it. But then again, you know what? They may. So, I don't know, man. So, I guess I'll just kind of play it towards the end of the video. Just to see. But anyway, they go into the concept of 2025 being a year of destruction, chaos, wars, riots. And on top of that, they showed you drones. Okay, now I don't know how accurate this is because somebody could have put this together, and I haven't really been on The Simpsons like that for some years now because, I mean, honestly speaking, I don't have time to sit back and watch it, and the shit has got real silly. Okay, it's not really funny anymore like it was back in the early 2000s, in the early 90s when it was actually quite funny. But then again, you know, I was not in an awakened mindset either, so it was folly, all right? But I haven't really kept up with The Simpsons like that. Probably like on their 33rd season or some shit, but who cares, right? But nonetheless, it's still an interesting video. And I want to look something up right fast. Let's do this real quick. Bam. Take this off. No, nigga. Oh, yeah, that's good. I actually want that. Independence Day. Take this off. Let's see what the madness say. Simpsons predictions 2025, and let's see if that video pops up. Let me just, yeah, like you see, it says here 7 times The Simpsons predict the future. This is all predictive programming. They didn't predict anything, all right? They just kind of have a script, a generic script. But anyway, it says The Simpsons biggest predictions for 2025 and beyond. And I'm gonna play the video, but I'm gonna be on the safe side and play it once I shut the video down, because if they do so happens to hit me with a copyright, I can just go and take that last part out without having to figure this shit out, cutting in between the footage. So, Salaki about that. I probably should have played it the first. But anyway, we know hell is getting ready to break loose on the shores of America and all around the world, World War III. All right, and it says, what are the Simpsons, prophets or time travelers or lucky guessers? And the answer is neither. All right. And it says here, Springfield's favorite dysfunctional family appears to know it all, processing or possessing a litany of stories and jokes that predict the future. But while it's fun to look back at the times an animated series wrote events right, it's eerie to think of what might lie ahead that the show have already foreseen. It says, as if their infamous Warren Brown couch operates like a crystal ball that allows them to peer into the future whenever they sit down. And the reality of it is that, like I mentioned earlier, they follow a script, man. All right, it's not the fact that they're actually predicting shit. You know, they don't predict shit. It's just predictive programming. Because, like I said, Matt Groening and the leaders of these shows, allegedly they are Freemasons, so they have an idea as to the elites' plans, and what they're doing is showing you the plans of the elites. All right, because this is the elites' prophets on the left hand side. Okay, the Simpsons is the left hand priesthood. Okay, because Esau likes to mimic Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai on the right hand side, so he has a left hand priesthood that he gets certain revelations from the spiritual demon Satan. He's able to go forth with the agenda, but it's all Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right and left. It says the past episode of The Simpsons covered the rise of AI in a scary Skynet-inspired fashion, while another delved into the misfire of technology that syncs up with brain activity, all right? And that's the micro C-hip, the brain chip, right? Going into Elon Musk and his Neuralink program, which Neuralink goes into the linking of the mind with computer. But it says the colonization of Mars, which that's a lie, also wasn't too far outreach at one point from the series, and neither was the arrival of the first female American president. But in terms of more harrowing subject matter, World War III loomed as an inevitability, and a major environmental disaster remains on the cards. Scary, right? But the thing of it is, everybody knows World War III is getting ready to transpire, because that's just part of the scriptures. That's the prophecy. All right. And the way that the world is going now, it's like, I mean, it's kind of not hard to see at this point. But like I said, they have a left hand priesthood that they get certain revelation from, man. All right. So matter of fact, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. No, it's Wisdom of Solomon. I think it may be 14 and Salaki. Give me a second. Good man, forgetfulness, idolatry. Well, if you go into the ancient power of the Chaldeans and the Chaldeans are basically an ancient sect of sorcerers, so to speak, elites of the Babylonian Empire, or gatekeepers that had secrets of intel and information, kind of like what your Jesuits was in the modern day age, your CIA agents, your presidents, you know, your governors, and these people. They're lower level luminaries, man. All right, but let's go here, Wisdom of Solomon 12, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses 4. It says, "Whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices," right? Because the left hand priesthood, they're engaged in sacrifices on a daily, all right? Like the scriptures say, thou art weary in thy enchantments, man. So the Simpsons is nothing more but an enchantment. Same thing with Family Guy. Same thing with these different TV shows, South Park. All these particular producers are in some type of global cabal, or some type of secret cabal that conspire together to bring forth the plans of the elites, man, the Illuminati. But it says, "And also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of men's flesh, that feast on blood, and with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that kill with their own hands souls destitute of help." All right, but it went into the left hand priest, because you have left hand priests here. You see, so when you look at places like or shows like The Simpsons, it's nothing more. But it says, "Now don't start panicking building a fallout shelter over the weekend, because after all, The Simpsons has over 750 produced episodes, and not every single catastrophe or incident has come to fruition. But that said, the following events do hit a little close to home for 2025 and beyond." All right, so they go into the colonization of Mars, which Esau is not getting off this planet. Okay, so you can scratch this shit off, all right? It's a movie that's coming out. I don't know if it came out yet, but it basically went into how they faked the moon landing, and they made it like as a parody spoof. But within that spoof, they was actually revealing what really happened. They never made it to the moon. Okay, you can't land on a light that gives its own heat, especially in a fucking tin can. All right, so that don't even make any sense. But anyway, it says, "In the real world, Elon Musk harbors the ambition to start a colony on Mars through his SpaceX program. It says he envisioned that the first humans could be on the planet by 2028. That's if you make it that far. And plan to build a self-sustained city by 2044, which all that shit is going to be done on a green screen, man. Okay, just like they shoot movies today in HD and IMAX cameras, it's nothing to show something on the news that somebody's on a red planet, but yet it's a desert out in Sahara some goddamn where, which shows you how weak this devil is. You can't land on the moon, and you can't get out of Leo, which is a lower Earth orbit, okay? And you can't make it to the stratosphere, which is, I believe that's I think it's the mesosphere, the stratosphere. I believe that's the highest circumference within the Earth. The Earth's atmosphere is the stratosphere, which is the high up before you hit space. How the hell are you gonna make it to Mars, which is distance away? But you can't even make it to the moon, and the moon is literally, according to Esau, it's 200 and something thousand miles away. But, you know, we don't know for sure. But if you look, the moon is right here. And you can look up and see the moon, man. All right? So how the hell you going to make it to Mars if you can't even land on the damn moon, bro? But it says, however, Mars mission may be heading towards disaster, according to biologist Kelly Weinsmith. It says, speaking to CNN, she said Musk is saying that the next 30 years, which the scriptures goes into how this devil claims that his houses will continue forever. You ain't got 30 years, Esau, and I guarantee you that. It says, but we're going to have 1 million people on Mars. But it says no way that you can scale up to 1 million people on Mars without something catastrophic happening. Either in terms of it turns out we can't have babies up there and moms and babies are dying or getting cancer. It says for Weinersmith, Mars' condition remains far too severe for humans to live or survive. Okay, flying cars, which, I mean, technically they already have shit like this. Flying cars, digital avatars becoming a norm. I mean, shit, they got the holograms. I remember years ago they did a Tupac concert and he was basically a hologram. So they already have this. I mean, hence the metaverse. It says a recklessness providing a rude awakening. The wheels are set in motion for the first U.S. female president. Well, I mean, that's kind of out the picture at this time, at least. It says here a major environmental disaster, which we can believe that, you know, with the chemical spills and the missing of the nuclear weapons out of Ukraine, and, you know, the chemical weapons facilities that's been setting up in these different countries that America sets up proxies to do their bidding. All right. It says Ivanka Trump is named for a presidential candidate in 2028. Esau, I don't think you're going to make it that long, buddy. But it says the merging of media companies going to the next level. CNN, BCBS. Virtual reality reaches a new apex, which is the metaverse. That makes sense. It says the neural communicator experiment would be a disaster. Okay, which it says here, news broke that Elon Musk's startup company Neuralink implanted its first chip in a human brain. Which that could be the thing of next year, because, hey, that's ultimately what's going to need to plunge this society into destruction. It says essentially the goal of this implant is to allow people with the quadriplegia to control computers and devices only with their thoughts. It said it is a game-changing innovation, but however, there are concerns about how the technology could be used when in the wrong hands. But there's also the possibility that it could be rolled out on a mass scale and become a new way of communicating with others, like a messaging app. Okay, so, hey, that's not too far-fetched. Okay, because for the simple fact, he just mentioned Elon Musk and the brain chip, right? So let's go from here to the book of 2nd Esdras 6, and I'm going to start at verses 7. And it reads here, and it says, then he answered and said, what should be the parting asunder of times? It says, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followed it, right? So even Esdras was asking when the end was going to be, because throughout history, the prophets have always foretold about the end, and they've always wondered. Like the scriptures say that, it be roughly paraphrasing, the scriptures goes into how the prophets wish to see things that we seen, man. Okay, and that they've gave their lives to fulfill the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, just to not get the promises then. Okay, but they're going to get it on this side, because believe it or not, we have strong faith that we are these men coming back in what you call the reincarnation. Okay, which re means back and incarnate means in the flesh. So you and scientists have proven the theory, which is not a theory, but according to them, everything is a goddamn theory. They've proven that reincarnation exists, man. And it makes all the sense in the world, all right? Especially with the way that the world is going. It makes a lot of sense as to reincarnation being the only biblically plausible cause as to people coming back, because you even got little Edomite boys remembering their past lives, man. So I highly believe that is the case, because the scriptures say so. But it says here, and he said it to me from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau was born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth it. And this is a clear cut to who's in power now. I mean, this is common sense. I mean, anybody that has 2 brain cells that's working and that can actually have some type of discernment of spirit, they know that the Edomite race, or the so-called white man, being the biblical Edomites, will be the end of this present world. Okay, just look at the way that it's falling. So anybody that try to say, and this is why the likings of vocab don't approve of the Apocrypha, because the Apocrypha is straightforward, man. You know, and this is why they don't adhere to the Apocrypha, because they don't believe it. But who's going to waste their time writing a book just to put Esau is the end of the world being a so-called? Who's going to do that if that wasn't the truth, man? Okay, the scriptures through the prophetic Isaiah the 34th chapter, Idumea. But then they try to get out of that and say, well, that ain't talking about Esau. Well, who the fuck is it talking about? Okay. But it says World War III is just around the corner. But it seems like the Simpsons prediction that everyone believes will happen every year. But no one can dispute that at the end of 2024, international relations were at their first most fragile state in a long time. It says whether the fractious relationship between the nations that were once seen as allies, or the numerous and ever-present conflicts take place worldwide. 2025 comes with the fears of World War III being just around the corner. And I pray, you know, that really happens, man, all right? Because World War III will be the catalyst of us really getting delivered, okay? So, yeah, man, wasn't going to be a too long lesson. Like I said, just a couple of precepts. I just thought it was interesting. And I want to play that video anyway. But this is the book of 2 Peter. I'm going to start at verses 7. 3 and 7, it says, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto the fire against the day of judgment and the perdition of ungodly men. And we're seeing that on a huge scale, man. All right. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that the day of Yahushua is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as in one day. But the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering towards us all, because some people look at it like, well, he's taking too long. And it does feel like the Lord is taking a long time. But if you pay attention, a lot is going on, man. Like the brothers, like a quote was made, you can have decades and weeks, and you can have weeks and decades, man. Okay, sometimes it takes decades for things to play out, but sometimes it takes weeks for decades to play out. And we in a time that decades are playing out within weeks. But it says here, but the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering towards us all, towards usward, not willing that any should perish, but all should come to repentance, man. And this is talking about the Israelites. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass with a great noise, which is talking about those missiles, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth and the works therein should be burned up. So all this wickedness, this folly that's going on is going to be burnt up. Okay, scriptures go into a new heavens and a new earth. And it says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking forward and hasting? And this is why we say, hey, hopefully the next 6 months, until the coming of the day of the Lord, when the heavens being on fire should be dissolved, and the elements should melt with fervent heat. Okay, and this is what we hastening. This is why we go into these things, because we want to get the hell out of here. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, which is talking about rulership. It ain't talking about the earth being destroyed and a new one miraculously appearing. No, this is talking about rulership, man, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Okay, wherefore, beloved, see that ye look for such things. Be diligent that ye may be found of him of peace, without spot and blameless, man. So this is the mindset that we ought to be in. All right, you know, not playing games, not getting weak, not making excuses, none of that, man. We gotta really be in the spirit. And the Greek word for hasting is sputo, which means to haste, to make haste, to desire earnestly. And this is why we continue to go into these precepts, man. But anyway, I'm going to play this video, but I'm going to end it giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Lord's will you were edified. To the next lesson. Shalom.
Simpsons predict the U.S. will be in trouble in 2025, and Springfield becomes part of a major crisis spreading across the country. It begins with Lisa watching the news about widespread power outages. Empty store shelves and rising prices are everywhere. Gas stations run out of fuel. Grocery stores impose limits on how much people can buy, and ATMs stop dispensing money. At the Quick E-Mart, Apu apologizes as customers argue over the last loaf of bread. Phones and the internet stop working for hours, leaving people frustrated and confused about what's happening. The government issues vague announcements, but they provide little clarity or help. By summer, Springfield is in total chaos. Power outages last for days, casting the town in darkness and silence. People begin to trade food and supplies in desperate attempts to survive. Marge tries to keep the family calm, organizing candlelit dinners to make the best of a bad situation. As the episode comes to a close, a haunting scene unfolds. A mysterious drone flies over Springfield, and a flashing sign appears that reads, "Prepare for the new normal," leaving everyone wondering what's to come next in this unsettling future. Comment 2025 for part 2 and follow this account. The Simpsons